Hey everyone. Okay, so I have had a lot of you guys ask, how do you even stay organized as a coach? Like, what do you use? What systems do you track with, and things like that? So, what I'm gonna do is share what I'm using now. However, this was not, I'm just gonna take this off. This was not always the case. When I first started, I kind of just made my own thing and went with it, and it worked. And then over time, I thought, someone's doing this, let me try this. Someone's doing this, let me try this. And it just, you need to find something that works for you. And for me, like being a teacher and working full time, or, traveling down to my parents in the summer and stuff, I wanted something that could come with me from place to place, that I never was behind in my business or something like that. So I have this little binder here. And this is a quote I just found recently. And it just says, consistency is simply a reflection of how much you actually care about the results you say you want. So I have this on the front and I have it on the back of my binder. Everything in here is completely blank right now because, one, I wanted to be able to share with you guys, and two, I kind of did like a clean slate sort of thing. I just had like a few funky weeks and I just decided to clean everything. So what it is, I'm just gonna kind of go through like what I have in each separate tab. And then you guys can obviously adjust and use as you would like and different things like that. So first, I always have a notebook inside of here. This is my inviting notebook. So my inviting notebook, I follow Ashley Feldison made a video. I follow where you number one side, the other side, you fold the paper in half, and these are all either your invites or your connections that you make. And if they respond back, you circle, and if they don't, you just leave it. If they circled, for me, what I did was on the back of the page, I would write down like what our, the goals were, or something about that person, just to kind of like make a note of it. And if they really wanted information, I would put like a little star next to it so that I knew exactly who I needed to follow up with when I did follow up. So my notebook, my inviting notebook, is always in here. And then what I'm going to have, and I'm going to start this probably for December, maybe January, depending on baby, but is a blank calendar. I printed 12 of these. So I'll put December, I'll write in the dates, and this is going to be me mapping out what I'm doing. When I'm inviting to my challenge group, when I'm inviting to coaching, when I'm going to do my sneak peek, if I want to do a free group at the end of the month, any little notes, team calls, things like that will all go inside of my calendar. So that's always first thing right when I open it. Then on the back of that page is my schedule. Okay, so I wrote out, and I highly suggest that everybody does this as well, write out a schedule and stick to it. Like I have from like get dressed, drink water, energize, do your affirmations, 15 minimum invites, 5 coach specific invites. And I have everything detailed and laid out exactly like what I would be doing in terms of the business activity tracker, just so that I know like this is what I need to do, put on timers, because if not, you're gonna get sucked into doing stuff that you either don't need to be doing, or you're gonna find yourself not doing the business building activities first. You're gonna be doing all these other little things like making cute things on Canva when you really should have been sending your invites and doing your follow-ups and things like that. Then my first tab is my business activity tracker. So next up would be, for the week, your business activity tracker. So you can have a tab for that. And like I said, you start small when you first start, okay? This is the one I have with 3 for each. You need to get consistent and remain consistent before you can build up and start sending 20 invites or 30 invites, whatever it is. This is something that I learned at one of my leadership retreats that I was at. This next tab is called a coach hot list. So it's super simple. I just, again, have a little tab. At school, I printed out and made a ton of these, and it just says coach hot list. So this is anyone who you reach out to that is interested in coaching. I would put their name, their Instagram handle or whatever it is on this paper, so that every single month I could go back and follow up with this exact person. Like, hey, I know you had said last month that you were interested in coaching. I have a new sneak peek starting on January 2nd. Are you interested in jumping in this month? I know last month, wasn't the best for you. Because if they showed interest in the past, that means that they eventually are likely to say yes, and they will continue to show interest. So I have a coach hot list, and then my very next one is also a customer hot list. So this is for people for like just challenge groups, maybe people who don't necessarily want to business build. They want to challenge back, they want to join your challenge group, something like that. So again, this is me. I just went on, made a chart. I just wrote customer hot list up at the top, and this is a really easy way for you to follow up. And it's also a great way for you to, like, at the end of this month, I'll draw a line so that I know who I follow, who I did in November, who showed interest in November, so that I immediately in December can be like, hey, I know that last month didn't work out for you, because of the holidays, or, I remember that you said, and then you can remember if you made a note as to why they couldn't do it. You could follow up with them and say, I would love to get you plugged into my group this month. Let's chat about your goals, something like that. My next section is for conversations and connections. So this is, sorry, I just got really bad pain. Oh my God, I am so ready to have this baby. Whew. Okay, this next one is 100 connections. So what this is, and you can find this online, in the Google Drive on Inspiration Crew, 100 connections. You write down the name of however many people you're connecting with that day. This is not someone that you're sending an invitation to. This is not somebody that you are trying to do anything Beachbody with until like the 5th day. So what it is here, it shows you a space for name, connect, and then invite. So you should make at least like 3 or 4 connections with somebody that's completely brand new, not in your warm market, before sending them an invite and then a follow-up. So that list is here for you just to know, like, maybe you want to write the date next to it, and then the person's handle. And then this also, when you have their name, gives you an opportunity to, maybe put them in a little folder in your Instagram, so that one day when you're, sitting there at lunch, or you're find yourself scrolling, go to that folder and start liking and commenting on some of their pictures, so that you're investing and putting time into reaching out to these people again. Because the more you connect with them, the more they're going to start looking at your stuff. They're going to be more intrigued by what it is that you're doing. And these are people who, the connections that you're making, oh my God, are people who might be in your niche market. So that means maybe, if you're a dog mom and you're a beagle mom, you do hashtag beagle mom, you look at some of those girls. Or if you're really into cooking and you find like somebody's page that does a bunch of different recipes, and you look at all the people who like their pictures, those are people you can connect with and be like, hey, I saw that you follow so-and-so also, I love her recipes. And then that's kind of just something that you start a conversation with that way. My next one, now this is for me, again, this is completely, I might be at a different part of my business than you are, but this is something that I have. So I have a section I decided to make for IGTV, because that's something that I want to make a goal of mine, is I want to at least once a week start making an IGTV. So I have like on a thing here a ton of different topics that I want to eventually go over, different things like how to lead a healthy lifestyle when you're busy, why your internal voice will make or break your success, new month, new goals, self-belief and confidence, what my top tips are, what will determine your success, how to put your health and fitness first as a busy mom. These are just like different things that I've come up with. So as I go through them each month or each week, this is kind of just like a section for me to write notes. Like it's literally just lined paper. So that's what I have for my IGTV section. My next section is new coach mentorship and team calls. So my new coach mentorship, I laid out on here exactly what I had for my prep weekend, week 1, week 2, week 3. And now that I've made this group, I can just continue reusing it each month whenever I have new girls added. But then my next paper says team call ideas. So like if, for example, I'm talking with my team and I find that they're really struggling with inviting, or I find that they're really struggling with self-confidence or using like social media, I can make a note of that in this section and kind of come back to it. And when I'm making my PowerPoint or whatever for the team call, I can just refer back to this. Again, this is something that I am doing because I'm trying to grow and build my team. You might not be at this point yet in your business, and that is completely fine. I'm just kind of showing you everything that I have in here. The next tab I have is month by month. So I started doing this because a lot of people were like, listen, I'm away on vacation until February and I'm just not going to be able to do it, but I want you to reach back out to me. So what I did is each page, this says November at the top. This says December. This one says January. And if somebody says to me, please reach out to me in March after I have my baby, or listen, my parents are visiting for 3 months and, I know I'm not going to be able to do it then, but, they're going to be gone in April. You better believe that their name is underneath my April paper, so that I can follow up with them and be like, hey, I remember you had said that you'd be interested maybe once your parents left. I just wanted to see how everything was when they were here and let you know that I'm here for whenever you're ready for my group in April or whatever it is. So I have a month by month section, which is kind of similar to the hot list that you have for the customers, except the hot list is something that I would every single month, I would be following up with those people. Like if they didn't give me a specific month in December, if they were interested in November, I'm inviting them. If they ghost me or don't respond, January, I'm messaging them and being like, hey, I remember in November you were interested. Are you, blah, 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 blah. I've had people who have signed up 8 months later or people who have messaged me and been like, okay, I'm finally ready. And it's been after me messaging them 8 different months in a row without even hearing anything from them. And then I just will randomly get a message because they, again, this is where the whole trust part comes in. They need to see that you are consistent. They need to see that you're still here. They need to see that you're getting results, that you're getting other people results. A lot of people just need to trust you and they want to put eyes on you before they actually commit. So my next one, this is something I just put in. It's just a Shakeology packet that is in the New Coach University for the Inspiration Crew. I had printed this and it's just different facts about Shakeology because a lot of people, when you're asking them to do something that they've never done before, I want to be knowledgeable in what it is that I'm talking to them about. So I just have a couple of different bits of paper about Shakeology and things like that. And then that's really it. My next slide or my next section, what I did is it's kind of like my roadmap, meaning like all of the people I have signed up under me, how I'm going to get to 1 star, how I can get to 2 star. And then as my coaches begin to build their teams, I will also be putting in their roadmap. So for example, if I have somebody who's an Emerald, I might say like the coach's name and then have their roadmap so that I can see exactly what they need to get to their next goal. And then maybe like how I can help them move forward. So for example, I had a coach, Melissa, who just signed up her husband and her mom. So like I'm going to have a page here for Melissa so I can see hers. And then as she adds customers or as she adds coaches or discount coaches, whoever, it would either be a discount coach or a business builder. I would then start to build so that I can say, okay, hey, I see that you have, your husband and your mom, and then, you've got these 2 people on your left. Let's get 2 more people on your right, and then you're only 1 away on each side from diamond, and like just like a different way. But again, this is something that I'm doing for me and part of my business and where I'm at. But it just wanted to show you. And the last one is just like originals. So actually, this is it. So this is exactly what I had when I first started. So I made this myself. I went online, or I went in my Word docs and I made this. Okay, so I'm gonna try and show you as best I can. I had name, and then I wrote their Instagram or their Facebook name. I wrote like how many times I connected with them, invite, follow up. I got their email. I had started sending everything through email, and then after sending them an email, how many times I followed up with them after the email. So this is what I used for probably the first like 3 months of my business, and I hit Success Club every single month when I started. I earned my free ticket to Summit, and I had a lot of success because I was doing 80-day obsession and I was sharing my journey every single day. Like I was like, day 1, this is what I'm doing. Day 2, how I feel. Day 3, this is what I'm doing. And it looks a lot different from what I'm sharing right now. However, it worked for me and for my warm market and people who just wanted to know what the hell I was doing and how I was getting these results. And it was awesome. So this is what I use. So I do have this in here. And then these are just like extra copies of, the calendar. So like that I have a calendar to use for January when it comes. My business activity tracker, I can just take one out and put it back in the front, in front of the other one when I'm done with that week. And then I just have some old people that I followed up with, like, this is like my old list of of customers and my invites and things like that. And then my 2 last copies are the customer hot list and the coach hot list, which again, I just went on Microsoft Word, made a table, put numbers on it, and wrote customer hot list up at the top. So this is literally everything that you need in your business activity tracker. Like if you go through it, Be Proof the Product Works is your business activity tracker. I'm just going to go through them right now. That is getting your workout done, drinking your shake. There's zero reason for you not to be drinking your shake. If you are allergic to the shake, there's Daily Sunshine. If you don't like the shake, then you should be on the performance line. But you can't recommend something to somebody and tell them how amazing it is and how well it works with the workouts and things like that if you're not doing it yourself. And that means every single day. That means being consistent every single day with your shakes and things like that. Yes, you can miss a day or two here and there, but you shouldn't be postponing your shake for a month or skipping a month because you have so much of it left over. Because if that's the case, then you should maybe share with somebody else, because you never want to not have that PV coming in for your at-home, Shakeology order. Then 20 minutes of personal development, which everybody have given, tons of different, there's so many different resources for personal development and how you can continue to grow. And then everything else where it says here, building my business, adding 3 new people to my social media. That's you making those new connections. That's you going to the author that you love and following 3 of her followers because you think you would connect with them. You can write their name down somewhere if you want to. I don't. I just tend to follow as many people as I possibly can. And if they start to follow me back, then that's when I start to make the connections. Start 3 conversations with new contacts. That's where you would be like, hey, I see that you're following so-and-so also. I love her so much. I love her style. And then you could ask a question. Invite 3 people to your next challenge group. That's where your inviting notebook comes into play. That's where you're inviting people who are liking your content. That's where you're inviting people who are watching your stories, who are commenting on your posts, or who are just simply following you. If someone is following you, they are in your circle and they have chosen to follow you. You are not forcing anyone to follow you. So that means that they've looked at your page, they've looked at your storefront, which I call your, first 9 slides of your Instagram, which is why your pictures and your captions need to be engaging and they need to be nice to even just look at, because you're not going to stop someone's feed with a really shitty picture. So follow up with 3 people. This might be where you follow up with somebody, who I always give people 2 days and then I try to follow up, because let's be honest, so many people look at something and they say, okay, I want to respond, and they just completely forget. But you don't want to be that person that's like every single day on their case. So I always, for my follow-ups, I'll look at my invites and then I'll look 2 days prior and follow up and be like, hey, just want to double check and see if you got my invite. And you want to do that with 3 people. So if you're doing this every single day, you are always going to have somebody to go back and look to and follow up with. And if you're doing the new connections, you're always going to have somebody to invite. Talk to 3 people about the coaching opportunity. This is where, again, you're searching people and you might be like, girl, I see that you're at the gym every day and you are doing such an amazing job and you're doing exactly what I'm doing as a coach, and I would love to share some information with you and see if maybe you would like to, and then you could talk about your new coach mentorship, or you could just, I think what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to be very brutally honest with people, and I'm going to say, like, I have this amazing opportunity and I'm looking for people to do it with me. Like, I want to build this sisterhood and a sense of community for other people who also want to live a healthy lifestyle, and I would love to have you join my coaching sneak peek page just to check it out. So you can do that also. And then the last one, recognize the success of 3 people is really, you might not have people to recognize the success of, but that could be you also going into your team page and, shouting out one of your girls, or going into the challenge group that you might not actually be the coach of, but your coach has you in there, and you could go and recognize 3 people who are absolutely killing it with their workout that day. So there, all these things that are in the business activity tracker is what you need to do consistently, and make sure that you're doing it every single day, or at least, this is Thursday through Wednesday, so that's all 7 days. If you feel like crossing out Saturday and Sunday and having those days to yourself, or you feel like crossing off Tuesday and Friday, That's completely up to you. You are your own CEO. You are in charge of your own business. I'm not going to handhold. I'm not going to walk you through it. I will be there to guide you. I'll be there to answer your questions. I will be there to support you in anything that you want, but I cannot force you to do anything. So, just kind of keep that in mind as you're looking through doing your business activity tracker. If you have not read The Compound Effect, I highly, highly, highly recommend it, because I don't think some people realize how important it is to be consistent over time to see success. I think a lot of people think it's just going to be like instant gratification, and 3 months in you're going to be getting $300 every single week, and it just, in reality, yes, if you put in the work and you're signing up people, that could absolutely happen. However, you might start off with a little bit here, and then that will grow, and then over time, the work you're putting in now, this is something one of my coaches always said to me, the work you're putting in now will show in 3 months. Okay, so you for 3 months might not see one single person sign up, but the more you continue to follow up, make those connections, show your journey, continue to share openly, honestly, then over time, that is when everything starts to compound, and that is what the compound effect is. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. You can send me a message and ask any questions that you have, or please reach out to me and let me know if you guys have any questions at all. I would be more than happy to help. This is the system that I use. This is what I love about, I put this in here, I bring this with me anywhere I go. If I need it at work, I have all my stuff right here. If I need to go to my parents for something, I have it all with me here in my binder, and I don't have to worry about like, crap, I have to put these connections on a random piece of paper and I don't know who to follow up with, or I don't have my hot list to do my invites or my follow-ups, like anything like that. It's all here in one spot, and I don't need to look anywhere else for it. So I really hope this was helpful, and I'm here for you if you have any questions.